You guys understand what's been happening to my mother in this place isn't fair? Just because you other residents doing stuff that they can't help because they have dementia, doing it to their fellow that shouldn't give them free rein to do whatever they want to their fellow residents. You know? And someone with advanced dementia and has something happen to them, like my mom's roommate, they're not going to they're not gonna know what's happening to them, are they? It's still not right. Of course it's not right, don't get me wrong. But my mother fell. Okay? My mother is super, super, super sensitive like me. She was doing phenomenally well with her rehab. Everybody was so impressed. And all these motherfuckers are going to now say, instead, because they're not going to cast blame on themselves. No. Yeah. Because I've already heard it. I heard it from someone, upper management, a couple of weeks ago. You know, because I was saying, well, you know, my mom's dementia's not that bad. Well, you know, it's only going to get worse. You know it's only gonna get worse, you fucking cunt. I would never keep her in your facility. You not only can't keep your other residents out of control from hurting my mother, you don't really care, or you'd really, really fight to do something about it. You know, you really put in some effort. They're not putting in any effort. As far as I'm concerned, my mother's in danger there. What am I supposed to do? I know she's affected by all of it. She's also affected, because I'm affected when I visit her, by her roommate who has severe dementia. Okay? You hear her, if the aides have to change her or bring her back or do anything, she swears an F word and swearing and screams. Ah! Leave me alone, you fucking baby! Okay? You think that's not negatively affecting my mother? I see her fucking eyes while I'm there with her visiting. Okay? I know it's affecting her. She's trying to make the best of it. Okay? There's 2 women in there who have chosen to torment my mother. It's one thing to take her clothes, to knock her friggin' reading glasses off her face. That happened a few weeks ago with one of them, the same one who takes her clothes. Now the other one who isn't taking her clothes is mean to her and does other stuff. And then Churchwoman's like, well, your mom needs to learn to defend herself. My mother is super sensitive like I am, okay? And my mother, nobody can defend themselves if somebody startles them awake by pulling their covers off. They can't keep them under control. Something's going to end up happening to my mother. What am I supposed to do about it? You know what Joe says? It's like, you're right. Your mother's in danger in there. And this world sucks and it's only getting worse, Laura. And you have to just accept pain. You have to accept that there's going to be so much unbearable pain. And you have to not let it destroy you. That's what my Joe said a couple days ago. I went in the ambulance, pure chance. My mom fell for the first time ever and didn't tell them. So when I told them, they're like, she didn't say anything to us. I know. Same as when I was at my best friend's for several months, and my mom actually had a hairline fracture from falling, and she didn't tell anybody, but people around her were telling me, like, Churchwoman, your mother keeps saying her arm's hurting her. She's at Bible study saying her arm's hurting. She's at church saying her. And I said, but she says she's fine. I finally, from 1,000 miles away, got her the help, got arranged to have her set up, you know. I called and made an appointment, whatever, because again, only I can do that. I did all this crap even though I was with Joe, okay? I still sent food here, delivered food to my mom, delivered toiletries, talked to her every day, handled, you know what I mean? Just because I wasn't here, I was still hands-on. again, it was meant to force her hand, to make her realize she couldn't live alone, so she would sell this place and realize we were going to go get a place with Joe. The fact is, when my mother went back and forth, and everybody knows it in her life, okay? They know that she would say, I'm moving to where my Joe is, and then she'd go back and not do it, and this, that, whatever. But that was when she could, okay? That was when we've reached a point where she has so many mental and physical problems, okay, that everybody's thinking she's going to stay in a nursing home. If it's at that point, then yeah, okay, Mom, you're not going to, you don't want to be in a nursing home, then you're going to come with me. If you even make it out of this place intact. She fell for no reason. But it's coincidence, right? That the night she fell for no fucking reason at all, it was after that woman, that fellow resident, had pulled her covers off of her and startled her awake and whatnot. Just coincidence, right? My mom didn't fall all those times I thought she might fall when she decides to, on her own, be so self-sufficient, okay? She can decide to be self-sufficient and scare me or whatever. She can't control what other residents are doing to her. Neither can these motherfuckers! They don't care. They put a Band-Aid on it. They pretend to care while gaslighting me. Don't use the word stealing. We don't use that word. We say borrowing or just that her clothes went missing. Okay, but she knows, she sees them go in her closet. She knows that they're taking them in. We found them. You know what I mean? I can already predict these people. I know them better than they know themselves. I already know because I've already dealt with it with someone else. Just when I have to say, what's happening with my mom. Well, we got vindication. A nice aid, and happened again, where I get told, oh, it's in the laundry, oh this, oh that, and my mom's told, don't worry about it because people won't look, they don't care. I got a nice aide who did care, and lo and behold, my mom's purple top was exactly where we suspected it would be. Someone else had looked, but not good enough, and said, oh, it's not in there. This aide cared and really found it, just like the one a couple weeks ago did, okay? It's bad enough. I have to accept that they're going to steal my mom's clothes, and I'm not allowed to use the word stealing or I get scolded like a child. That's bad enough, but that was tolerable. Any kind of coming near my mom when she's sleeping, coming near her roommate, slapping her roommate, and again, there's two of them, and they do the same things, and this place is not keeping these women under control, clearly, because it's still happening. Roommate's daughter had a fucking meeting with upper management, and it's still fucking happening! And only my mother can really complain because her roommate is so out of her mind, okay? Advanced dementia, not my mother. But my mother, they can conveniently say, oh, that didn't happen. You're imagining things because she has dementia. Do you see where I'm going with here? Do you see where I'm going with this? This is what they're doing to me as well. They can conveniently say blah, 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 whatever. So her daughter, roommate's daughter, the only recourse is my mother, who these people want to just say has this, See? Her mom didn't even remember being slapped. But she believes my mother. The reason she believes my mom is the same reason I and church women believe my mom. Because my mom's so detailed, okay? I told my mom the contractor was coming one day to do the stuff, and then it was postponed. And I said to her again, she's like, oh, didn't he already? No, but you remember that, and they want to make you out to be so advanced dementia. You want to know why? Because it's convenient for them, obviously. Please, spare me, people. If anyone's watching this not intelligent enough to understand, that's what they're doing. bedridden, totally doesn't even remember, whatever, would have no recourse, right? The daughter believes my mother. But I have to hear, and I'm so she has to, well, you know she has dementia. And then when I give them proof, okay, she said her clothes were taken. We found them in the room. There's her vindication. Her dementia's not that bad. Oh, but you know it's going to get worse. She still has weeks left. I don't think she's going to make it out of there. Test showed nothing, okay? I went with her. They let me go. The ambulance. They've done before. Years ago, they let me go in the ambulance when she got sectioned. I was there, and she got sectioned. She needed to be by her psychologist. Anyhow, I stayed with her for hours until Josh Woman came and picked me up. So I was able to tell them, and I actually ran it by a nurse. I'm like, you know, if her tests are, you're not showing any reason whatsoever for her to fall, and yet we know she fell for the first time ever in months in this place, the same night that she was startled awake. And again, my mother's super sensitive, okay? I don't think that's a coincidence. I think she's feeling really helpless, and it really upsets her when her clothes go missing too. She hates it. They just say, you know, you can't be so upset about stuff like that, naming my mom, you know. Or they always turn up, which they do only because why? Why do they turn up, people? Because I fight and I defend my mom and I say I keep track. But if my mother had nobody, then nobody would care and her clothes would just be missing and she'd have to accept it. And again, she's not so advanced dementia-wise that she doesn't realize what's happening. She's not so advanced dementia-wise. It's mild. That's why she remembered the name of my contractor. That's why she remembered when he was coming. That's why she still knows, you know what I mean? What am I supposed to do? I'm dead serious. What the hell am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? She doesn't want her room moved. But I don't think they do it anyway. Why should they? My mom's supposed to be coming home. They had thought originally she was staying with them. They don't give a fuck. I never imagined this. Every time I turn around, something happens that I never imagined, doesn't it? Every time I turn around. I thought maybe she wouldn't get enough rehab or enough whatever and wouldn't improve. She improves by leaps and bounds and has to be tormented by two females who are targeting her for whatever reason. And all I get to hear is, well, you know that they can't help it. They have problems. They're not doing it on purpose. I know that. What if one night decides to come in my mother's room and, you know, and take a chair and maybe they probably weren't strong enough to lift the chair, but you know what I mean? Maybe they could decide to hurt her in some other way. It's escalating. A few weeks ago, it started with just taking the clothes, and we found them. We have proof. My mom got her vindication after everybody would say to her, oh, you're imagining things, or your clothes are missing, or they're in laundry, or they'll turn up, or yeah, whatever, okay? It's all not true. And I know my mom, because I talked to her, and so do other people. She's frustrated. She sees them going in her closet. Now she tries to hide stuff in hope that they don't take it in another place. I'm washing her clothes, but when I was in the hotel for a week and a half, I couldn't do that. But even then, things could go missing. She won't keep anything dirty in the closet, but they would take them when they weren't supposed to. When they were supposed to let me wash them, And then you don't know if they're in the laundry or if they're borrowed. No, they make light of it. They make light of it. I got talked to by upper management, and she was like laughing almost, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they can't help it. We just call it borrowing. They go shopping for other residents' clothes. They make it out so innocent. All right, it's not innocent to stand over my mother's bed when she's sound asleep at night when you shouldn't even be in her room and pull her covers off of her. It's not innocent to knock her glasses off of her face. And if she says anything, they don't believe her. Do you understand me? They can conveniently say to me and say to my mom, "Oh, you're imagining things. It didn't happen." Say to me, "Oh, your mother has dementia." I have no guarantee at all. Again, coincidental that my mother falls for the first time in months the same night, and it was afterwards that woman was in there pulling her covers off of her. And do I have proof that happened? No. These motherfuckers are going to say that my mother imagined it. I know what they're going to do because it's convenient for them, okay? And I know in my gut, and so does Churchwoman, that my mother is telling the truth. Like this roommate's daughter who never even met her, she's like, "Your mom's so detailed. I know she's telling the truth." I said, "I know," and they just brush it off and say she's making stuff up. Bullies who can't help it because they're out of their minds, their brains riddled with dementia or what have you, you're still affected by them regardless. They might hurt my mother. Of course my mother can also imagine things, or I don't know because I'm not there. Because at one point she said so-and-so tried to trip me. Mom, I'm sure nobody tried to trip you, but now I'm not so sure because this was before the whole thing with pulling the covers off of her. I had to accept about the clothes, okay? I had to accept that. They don't fucking care. I leave a voicemail with one upper management about changing my mom's room, and I get a thing from another upper management being like, "Oh, I think we need to have a meeting and discuss whatever." And then I leave them. They know my mom fell. I leave a message, and no one gets back to me because they're not gonna, because they don't fucking care. Joe would say they have to pretend to care. But this is escalating. Don't be surprised if I tell you something happens to my mom, either at the hands of one or both of these women who have targeted her for whatever reason. Again, you think they're targeting everyone in there? No, there's some reason they're doing it. It could have to do with me. You don't know. One woman wanted to be near me, the same one who knocked my mom's glasses off of her face, and the same one who I couldn't stand to have her in there constantly when I'm trying to visit my mom, and I had to report her because I have PTSD, and she kept hovering behind me. And then when I said, "Can you please, if you want to take part in our call, be here with me," see, you know what I mean? It's almost like the dog, Max, with Omar, The dog, Bubby's dog was jealous of me with my Omar and wanted to be near me, Like, it's almost like the same thing. Like, I come and visit my mother, and then this woman, this was before, this was a month ago. This was when my mom had been in there, you know what I mean? But now I rejected this woman because I got tired of it. I don't want her hovering behind me. I'm trying to be nice. Every time I visit my mom, she's coming in there. And she feels rejected by me now, and she could be taking it out on my mother, just like Max trying to hurt Omar. Remember, Omar was just a little baby, little thing, but he had spunk. Max was a bigger dog, you know. Some of you remember he didn't used to try, he did. He dominated my Omar. It wasn't, that's to try to do when they do that. Animals don't think like we do, but they could still have their feelings of trying to, be jealous, if you don't want to use that word, or just, Bobby worked all the time. Max wanted my attention, and whatever goes on in their brains, he wanted Omar out of the way. I don't know why these two women, I don't know if they're friends. I don't know what's going on in their brains. I do know that they might hurt my mother. And I know that she knows it subconsciously, but she likes, she tries to make the best of things. She fell, but was able to get up somehow because she didn't fall all the way to the ground and didn't tell them. She fell in the bathroom, but I don't think that's a coincidence. And I left a voicemail saying as much, and I don't even get a call back. I left a voicemail with the social worker saying as much. Okay, I don't want to hear you saying, "Oh, my mom's dementia, this doesn't happen," or whatever. It's not coincidental. The same night she falls is right after this woman did this to her, and it's been escalating. Clothes are one thing. This is something else. They might cause her bodily harm. It happens in these places. I didn't imagine this would happen to my mother. It's unbelievable. The church woman says ridiculous stuff because she thinks she just lives in La La Land in some ways and thinks they're going to care when I'm firsthand and can tell you they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. You drive me crazy. I love you to death. Would be lost without you. You do so much for me. I wouldn't even be having my stuff being done here. But you have to trust me. They don't care. She's like, couldn't they put a bell on the woman so they'd know if she gets... They don't care, and that would be... They can't do that. That would be violating her personhood. You can't do that. They're short-staffed. My mother's in danger. End of discussion. She still is... When this is happening, like if she was doing so well, when this is happening, she still has a lot of weeks left in there. I am not equipped to ever come home early. Especially now. She's regressing. My life just keeps becoming nightmare. Just more and more nightmare. I have that on my MP3 player. I think Amazon had it listed as explicit, but I don't know what makes it explicit. every time I turn around, it's something new. Like, again, the worst I expected from this low-rated place was that my mom might not improve as much as I would like in the time. Because remember, they had me all upset in the beginning. They're all thinking she's staying there for good, and they're like, we don't think she's going to improve enough. I said, in 3 months, you don't think she's going to get well enough to come home? Improve enough, like not what we're seeing now. And then when she improves phenomenally, they're so impressed. They say it to me, they say it to her, we say it to her, and now she's regressing. And I'm supposed to think that it's just chance that she's regressing when these two women are tormenting her and no one cares? Or no one cares enough? They try to put a Band-Aid on it that's not working. Your Band-Aid is bullshit. They try to do something that they think might, like, stop them from coming in the room. But does anyone believe in my mother except for me and probably your daughter, the daughter of the roommate? But they're still coming in the room. It's not working. Plus, it can only work if the aides follow it and go along with it. They're playing games. They think this or that will stop if they could just do whatever. Basically, they like, you know what I mean? These women wander around, but they don't have such advanced dementia that they're out of their minds, but they have enough dementia that we could say, oh, they can't help what they're doing, and we're sorry, but we can't stop them from tormenting your mother. That's what their actions, their behavior, their attitude is telling me. See? And then church woman again, who I love to death, when I say all this stuff, she's like, well, there's no use worrying about it, Laura. Does worrying change anything? Big news flash world. At least when you're me, and there's a lot of people applies. It doesn't matter. Someone could say, oh, there's no use worrying about it. You can't change it. You know, that's such a platitude. Is that a good word to apply to that? Because who follows that? Nobody. People worry, and they helplessly worry. You think I'm going to be able to just let this all go? Well, I can't change it. They can't do anything about it, so no use in worrying about it. That's what church woman said to me the other day. It doesn't matter if technically that's true, worrying about something. Does worrying change anything? No. Can't help it. Sorry. Lots of things I can't help.